Welcome to Abilene Christian University's academic visit today with our Communication Sciences and Disorders Department. I'm very excited to be with you today live here in our studio at ACU TV with two awesome individuals representing the department. And first is Lory Chrane. She is here with us. She's the program director for Undergraduate. And then we also have Natalie Neal, who is a senior in the program. She'll be graduating next May, a senior here from Abilene, Texas. So we're gonna do some back and forth Q&A in the live chat bar there. You can send in questions, but also there's a phone number you can text in questions. But I'm gonna kick it off and start with Natalie, because I think students love hearing from students about why you chose ACU, why you chose the major.
I chose ACU because I visited this program and I listened to what the professors had to say before I ever decided to come to ACU, and I just really felt like I wasn't going to be a number. I knew that I was going to be an important student and I was going to have a lot of learning opportunities, and that has really been true. Touring our department, I just felt like it was a really special place to be, and I have really felt valued being in this department. And so I chose ACU because I felt valued across the campus, but I chose this department because every professor made me feel like I was special and that I had something to give, not just to gain. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie. That's great. Lory, do you mind just telling us a little bit about the program, your majors, and just an overview of what it means to study communication sciences and disorders, your majors and kind of career paths?
Sure. We offer a Bachelor of Science degree in Communication Sciences and Disorders, and that encompasses a couple of different areas. So the field of speech-language pathology, which most of our students will go on to obtain their master's degree in, but we also have the audiology track, and those students will be able to meet the requirements to go on and obtain a doctorate in audiology. We do have a master's program in speech-language pathology at ACU as well, so the majority of our students will follow that career path.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Lory. Natalie, how about telling us maybe about your favorite class so far as your major? I know you're going into your senior year, but what is your favorite class?
It honestly sounds crazy to me. I wouldn't have believed this, but I took 2 separate anatomy classes in our department this past semester, and I absolutely loved them. I started to wonder if I needed to be a researcher in speech path anatomy. But so I think that means to me, like, even classes that sound like they're going to be boring and scary are places that you can really learn. And Dr. Barnett she really put in the work, and we learned so much, and it was just incredible. But every class I've taken, I've learned so much about what it means to be a speech pathologist.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie. Lory, next question for you. I think students would love to understand, what do speech pathologists do? What does their career path look like? What does their work look like?
It's more than just working on sounds and our sounds. We are a lifespan profession. We can work with individuals from the time they take their first breath to the time they take their last breath. So we're able to really minister and walk alongside individuals with communication disorders, acquired or congenital. And it's really, we look at it as our ministry in our lives. And it's such a blessing for us to be able to speak that in our department. We are able to work with individuals with swallowing disorders and impact, but also we are able to work with those that need services in the school system or in medical settings. So we're really fortunate to go through the medical and educational components.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lory.
Yeah.
Natalie, do you mind telling us a little bit about some of the hands-on experiences you've had in the department learning?
Sure. So I am actually the vice president of our chapter of the National Student Speech Language Hearing Association. And so that's called NSLA. And every university has a NSLA that has a speech path program. And through NSLA, I've gotten to build materials for children to use if they have trouble communicating. So big boards that have pictures on them that they can use to point instead of speaking. So our club has built those. I have modified toys to make them easier to use for children that have physical disabilities. Other hands-on experiences I have had include observations. So this past semester I was in a class that required me to observe real-time speech therapy. And so I went to clinics in Abilene and watched therapy happen. And so through those experiences, we've just gotten to really watch what it means to be a speech therapist and not just learn about it in a classroom.
Well, that's awesome. At ACU, experiential learning is a big part of how we prepare our students to be global leaders and critical thinkers. And one of the ways we go about experiential learning is taking you out of the classroom, obviously, but missions is a big part of what I think makes ACU stand apart from other universities. The Christian part of who we are, the core of who we are, is preparing our students for a vocation that's a calling. So, Lory, do you mind telling us a little bit more about missions and the way missions fits into communication sciences and disorders?
Yes, we are so excited about a fairly new partnership that we have with Hope Speaks in Kampala, Uganda. Ben and Carrie David. Carrie is a licensed speech-language pathologist, and Ben grew up in Kampala. And they met at Calvin University, and from there they went back and started a mission serving individuals with communication disorders. And we were able to go over, Dr. Lynette Austin and I took a group of 8 undergrads and one of our graduate students, and we went over last July and served alongside Ugandan SLPs and worked with families and clients in the various settings that they serve. And it was a way that we were able to integrate our skills as speech-language pathologists into the mission field. And we were so blessed by that experience. And through that, we've developed a partnership. So every other summer, we will have that opportunity to go and work with Ben and Carrie and their staff. I think they've added occupational therapy now to their services and physical therapy. And so it's just a really rich opportunity.
That's awesome. No, thank you. Thank you so much, Lory. It's always exciting to see across all of the majors at ACU and departments at ACU the ways to which we incorporate missions and taking you out of the classroom to learn. That is a very important part of our work and what we do with our students. So a couple of questions have come in around how to prepare for this major. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask Natalie a question, but want you students to know the application for admission to ACU will open up this summer on July the 1st. If you're currently a junior, to me, you're a senior now. Our seniors have graduated virtually, sadly, but we are going to celebrate them when they get here in August. And so you rising seniors, your application is going to open up July the 1st. You're going to be invited to apply and by being a part of this visit today, and we look forward to having you on campus. A few things about your application we want you to know. The application is all online. We ask for a high school transcript and test scores if you are able to provide them, but tests are optional for this next recruiting year for admission. So that is an option. You can choose to apply test optional if you would like, but we also encourage test scores if you want to be considered for the maximum scholarship. So you will be considered for a scholarship based on your high school work, but if you want that maximum consideration, a test score can be very helpful. And we do read your application in full. We want to get to know you. We want to know if you're a good fit for ACU. So please look forward to applying for admission to ACU. And as far as preparing, some of the things you can do to prepare right now are taking those classes above and beyond those high school core requirements. So the math and the science, and I know especially for this major, for communication sciences and disorders, those classes, those math and those science courses are very foundational to your success in college. So going into your senior year right now, it can be tempting to kind of step back if you've met all your requirements to graduate and maybe not take that math class or take that extra science class. But we want to encourage you to do that because it's going to help you be most successful when you're here at school. So Natalie, do you mind telling us part of what helped you choose to major in communication science and disorders? At what point did you have that realization and why? I think that's a common question high school students have.
Sure. So that's a big question, obviously, but I think it was like in high school, I really loved science. I took AP biology. I also really loved English, which sometimes does go into this major. I was also in a lot of AP English, and there's a lot of writing when you become a speech pathologist. You really have to write up all of your cases and really be able to discuss what you did in that therapy room. So what helped me figure out that I wanted to do that was just all that love for science. I thought maybe I wanted to be a nurse or a doctor, but I decided that that wasn't personal enough for me. Not that those are bad careers. And so I chose this major because you get to be in a room with a client and really see their their progress firsthand. And so I knew I just wanted to make a difference in people's lives, and this seemed like a place where I would be able to make an impact every single day. So if you love science and people, I think it's a great field.
That is awesome. I think you kind of just convinced me maybe I'm not in the wrong profession. That is really a great way to look at it. So students, I think what Natalie is saying too is really you're at a really exciting time in your lives to really lean in and think about what you're good at, what you enjoy. And I can tell you from a profession standpoint, when you are able to pursue a career and an academic endeavor with something you enjoy and like, it will be rich and fulfilling. And so really ask yourself those questions. It doesn't mean things aren't going to be hard. You may not love math, but you need math to do this. You're not trying to be a mathematician. But really think about the aspects you really like. And as Natalie said, she liked science and she liked people. And she clearly wanted to be someone that went into a helping profession. And there's lots of those. And this is one of the many. And it's a great profession. So for Lory, do you mind sharing with our guests why you love teaching in the department, why you love teaching even here at ACU?
Yes. Well, I'm an ACU grad, and so it's like coming back home. I graduated a while ago, and like many of us faculty that's in the department, I think most of us are ACU alum, but we went out, we worked in the field, several of us did mission work and worked abroad, and we came back home to ACU. Our department has a long-standing legacy, 40 plus years, and we really foster connection, we foster development, and especially the Christian human connection through service. And I think that's my favorite thing about being back at ACU. This is my 5th year coming back. And to be able to walk alongside the next generation of SLP and audiology students and to, just really focus on how your Christian life can be guided and led in this career choice. It's much more than a job to us. We love getting out in the community and serving alongside our students. I am fortunate enough to be a co-sponsor for our NISLA group, and we are constantly working outside of the classroom together. And we have fun. We enjoy each other, and we do it in a way that is in service to others. So that's probably my favorite thing, is our connection and relationship.
That is awesome. I can attest that ACU faculty, I think, are the very best, the very brightest, but they care deeply about our students. You're a name, you're not a number, and you come to know your faculty quite well. And a unique aspect to ACU being very much a teaching undergraduate-focused university. So you are being taught in the classroom by great men and women of faith that have earned the highest credential in their fields and really care about teaching and bringing the students alongside them in research. So great research is happening on this campus, but it's not just reserved for graduate students or for our PhD professors. Our students, our undergraduate students, are brought alongside into that research. A question that came in that I have no idea about that came into the chat is a student, Addison Poole, she's done some research. She has heard of something called biophysics that could help with this major. Is biophysics a different major or a course separate from speech pathology? Lory, do you have any insight to that?
It is, but there are some new and developing strategies with articulation where they're using sonogram imaging to assess the articulators. So yeah, I think some of that is integrating into our science-based field.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, that's super helpful. Another question is about study abroad. So ACU, we have a rich history in studying abroad with our students. As you can imagine, some of our study abroad experiences were put on hold during this unfortunate season of social distancing and not traveling. But we are excited to begin traveling again with our students. ACU has 3 study abroad sites, Montevideo, Uruguay, Leipzig, Germany, and then Oxford, England. In Oxford, England, and in Leipzig, Germany, we actually own our sites and facilities that operate year-round. In Oxford, we just purchased a brand new to ACU facility. It's a very, very old, incredible facility in downtown Oxford that we are excited to celebrate the grand opening of this fall. But specifically, we encourage all of our students to study abroad. It's a great way to connect with other cultures, have an immersive experience, and to study alongside your faculty as well as your peers. And there are some specific study abroads for different majors. So, Lory, do you mind talking a little bit about study abroad specific to being a communication sciences major?
Yes, we have a pre-medical and pre-health integrated study abroad. It is during the summer, and it is at the Leipzig, Germany campus, and that is led by Dr. Lynette Austin, our department chair. And she takes a group every other summer, and they have a class in hearing rehab, which is one of our required undergraduate courses. They have an amazing experience. I haven't been myself, but I have heard about their going into schools and visiting with SLPs in Germany, and also experiencing the medical end of being a speech pathologist in another country and watching a cochlear implant take place. So it's just a really rich experiential learning time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That is fantastic. Thank you, Lory. Natalie, you're senior, so you've been through the ropes of being a major, and we're going to be starting to near our time. So, do you mind talking a little bit about what your plans are when you graduate from ACU? What you're thinking about right now?
That's a big topic for me right now. So I want to be a speech pathologist, and so what that means is you need a 2-year master's to be a licensed SLP. So right now I'm trying to decide what grad school program I want to go to. I also have a Spanish minor, and I've thought about being a bilingual SLP, which if you're interested in that, definitely do some research. There's a lot of people out there, and that's a really great field to be working with people in more than one language. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go, but I know that I probably want to use my Spanish in some way. And so I hope to be an SLP someday, but after graduation, I don't really know yet.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Natalie, for that. We wish you all the luck. It's exciting for you to be in your final year here and sad at the same time, because it means your time with us is going to be a little shorter. So, Lory, do you mind telling us a little bit about what SLP stands for? I can imagine some maybe don't know what that means. And different graduate schools our students are going on into, and kind of the performance, how well our students are performing at grad schools across the country, and just talking about some of those options. And if you don't want to go to grad school, what does that mean? What are your options?
Sure. Well, SLP is speech language pathologist, and big 3 words that encompasses a lot of areas. And that's the benefit of this field, is that we can work in so many different settings and work with so many different clients. Most of our students will go on to graduate school. We have a graduate program here at ACU. We actually have a bilingual track. Dr. Lynette Austin is bilingual, and she leads that. And we have a lot of students that will come to ACU for our master's program because of that bilingual emphasis. That is such a need in our culture and in our society right now in the field of speech language pathology. We also have a track for undergrads where we help them obtain the experiential hours to obtain their licensed assistant for the state of Texas. And we have a full working clinic here on campus, the ACU Center for Speech, Language, and Learning. And we are a free clinic. This is part of our mission. We serve individuals in the Abilene community that have communication disorders. So our students are able to go in and provide clinical services and therapy. Our undergrads are actually able to participate in a paired clinician experience to obtain some of those experience hours. So we have students that are going on to get their master's or staying at ACU to obtain their master's. We have students going on to apply for audiology programs, and usually about 1 to 2 students per class go the audiology track. And then we also have students that are working to obtain their license in speech language pathology. Our acceptance rate is exceptionally high at ACU for undergrads getting into a master's program. I think this year it was 100%. And that just speaks to the fact of how much we really try to pour into our undergrads to prepare them for the application process. It is a rigorous process. It's competitive. But our students do amazing, and their resumes just look phenomenal because they are able to get out of the classroom and really apply the skills that they're learning. So yes, it's well above the national average acceptance rate.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
We are very grateful for this department and program and the way they prepare and serve our students. We are eager to get to know you. Students, we really want to encourage you to come visit us on campus. Come meet our students, come meet our faculty, come spend time on this campus. So much is about a feeling. We know that. It's not as tangible. It's a great program. I hope you heard that and saw that today from both Natalie as well as Lory, and we just really hope that you will take time to come visit us on campus. We are eager to host you in person, but this was the next best thing, getting to be with you virtually today. So thank you for spending time with us today. We look forward to getting to know you more in the weeks and months ahead, and can't wait to see you in person. Have a fabulous week.